the more relationships that you can make, and the stronger that they are, uh, the easier your job becomes. Because if you have established a good, solid relationship with someone, when you send them an email, they'll read it. When you call them and leave them a voice message, they'll call you back. So it stands to reason that investing some time to be able to nurture relationships and really get to understand who your customers are, it really does pay in the long run.
And Dad, let's clear up. Building relationships is not contacting your past customers and saying, "How's the weather today?" And then you contact them next week and say, "Hey, how's the weather again?" Like a annoying mosquito, right?
Yeah,
Dad,
no.
what's your idea of building relationships? Like what's your thoughts around that?
Well, really, if I was to kind of sort of internalize that, it would be meeting someone for the first time and trying to have that person open up to you, just in the course of just a natural conversation. Because I mean, obviously, somebody could be very businesslike and they don't engage in any kind of side conversation. It's just strictly business. Even sometimes those people you can get to talk a little bit, but trying to get somebody to open up and just have a normal human to human type conversation. Um, if you can do that, you'll begin to get little pieces of information about who this person is, what they like, and what they're kind of all about. And then it's a very slow process. It's something that takes time to nurture and develop. But over the course of time, you begin to understand, oh, this person has, they have a daughter in college. She's studying, I don't know, hydrology. So eventually, maybe you get to asking the question, "Hey, how's your daughter doing in school? I understand that you had told me back when that she's studying hydrology. That's pretty interesting. How's she doing?" And then, of course, they want to talk about their kids. Parents are proud of their children, except for you guys, of course. But anyway, another matter.
I can kick you out of
Yeah.
this podcast.
Yeah.
Just one click
I got
away.
just one
And
click away.
you would be doing me a big favor. Because then I could go off and do some other things that would be highly, highly productive and probably more fun.
Oh man.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
Dad,
that
I
was a
think what
zinger.
you're getting at, like, say, bringing that up, and then that also opens up the door. Maybe they say, "Oh, do you have kids?" and so on and so on. So now all
Yeah,
of a
for
sudden
sure.
you start to know someone, and oh,
Mhm.
cool, we're
Yeah.
like just two people in this industry. Like, I like this, person and whatever. I like working with them. So, like, for example, the in-person events, which we love so much. Um,
You are being facetious. I know that. But
Two events in 10 years.
right.
those are good opportunities. But go ahead.
Yeah, so that my point in bringing that up is that those are maybe that's one of the huge aspects of it. It's not the deals that you get out of it. It's that you're able to get a little bit closer and establish in-person relationships with people to
Mhm.
actually be like, oh, I actually saw you at this convention. Like, you're really in this industry. You actually came out here. You talk to them a bit. Maybe you have some food or appetizers, drink or whatever. Have a little conversation. You're just in the same place. Maybe a year from now, it ends up being, oh yeah, we know them and we met them there, and then or like you're saying, Dad, they might take that call now or answer your email
Of
now or
course.
something
Of
like that.
course.
And that could be potentially somebody that has great influence or has is would be a great person to work with in business.
Mhm.
But had you had not gone there or started establishing those types of relationships, you don't have access.
No, and the other thing about relationships is um, you have to not only try to establish those kind of personal connections, but you also have to deliver, and by that I mean you also have to provide that excellent service and response. And like when they reach out to you, just don't shine them on and just ignore those inquiries. You have to respond to them promptly and give them the best possible service that you can, because through that and the personal connections that you're developing, and the relationship, that kind of molds everything together, and you know establishes what you might call a long-term customer, somebody who is willing to even go out of their way to make sure that whatever business that they might have available, it's going to go your way and not some other direction.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like
you
I'm sure you can, like, for example, you have a like a friend or something where you're like, I really like this person. We go back, and but I wouldn't get in business with them though, because they're just a little bit unhinged. I really like them. I'll be there for them, but I can't. So you not only have to have the relationship, but then also have to be good at
Yeah.
when they when they work with you, that you're actually going to be the real deal. Drew, sorry about that. Right over to you, to the mic test.
no, it's okay. Yeah, Dad beat me to it, because you can't just build relationships, and just because this guy may like you doesn't mean that he's gonna do business with you and then continue to do business with you. So yeah, getting liked is a great thing, but you still have to bring your game, and all the choices out there are endless. So you still have to deliver and know your market of what your value is. And again, just because they like you doesn't mean that they're going to continue doing business with you. They could be doing business with you today. That relationship helps you keep an opportunity to have another chance to continue doing business. But you have to be realistic on what value do you bring to the market. Plus, the relationship aspect has its advantages for sure.
Well, the other thing is, when you're talking about relationships, and you're having that one-on-one conversation with someone, um, really the interest in that person has to be genuine. You know what I mean? And that's really, really important. It can't be just like superficial,
Mm-hmm.
because number one, people can kind of sense that. But if you really want to develop good long-term relationships and long-term customers, you really have to take a personal interest in the people that you're doing business with. So you should be naturally curious about your customers. It's like, who are these people? I'd like to find out a little more about them, so um, you know I understand a little bit more about the people that I'm doing business with here. So a natural, genuine, and sincere curiosity, I think, very, very important.
Yeah, I had a situation recently, and I won't give too much information just because it's like a public public. Who knows who's going to listen eventually and
Yeah.
stuff. I just don't want to give too much details. But
Sure.
basically, there was somebody that we work with sometimes, and we're on great terms and things like that. But so I think you know something happened where it seemed like, wait, is everything going all right over there? Like, I hadn't seen them around for a little while. So it seemed odd, because, like when you see people's usual behavior, and then you're like, they disappeared, start doing something. You're like, something just seems off, like, do you guys, so anyway, so I noticed that, and then I checked in on them just to see, like, is everything, like, are you actually, as like a person, like, are you okay? Like, and just because, just to check on them, because it seemed a little, I don't know, I just wanted to check just to see, like, is everything fine? And it ended up being fine or whatever. But that's, I think one of those human elements where it has nothing to do with business, like, just, I don't know, I just noticed something, and it's like,
Yeah, I think I know the situation that you're talking about, and it's not like our employees. You're talking about a customer, a third party affiliate to
Yeah.
our company.
right.
Yeah, so it's like if you're used to like seeing things, activity back and forth, and then it just kind of goes dark. You're like, hey, what's going on? Like,
Yeah, and that's not like, oh, I want to connect so I can get more business. It's like, it's not, has nothing to do with that. It's like, just, is all okay? Like, and even if it wasn't, for whatever reason, like, maybe we could help in some way, if
Yeah.
there, but turns out it wasn't the case, but it's just, sometimes it's like, I would want someone to check on me if it was like, they notice, like, where'd you go? Like, are you okay? What if I wasn't okay? And what if, that was that outreach actually did something, so anyway, so I don't know, just that relationship stuff, I definitely need to get better at it, but I know the value of it, and glad that you guys are like getting a little bit more on board with it. I know, Drew, you seem to be decent at it, like, or at least trying to do it, so that's good.
Yeah, I think if I did it the biggest thing that Dad said was being genuine. I am actually, there's a post on LinkedIn, forgot who posted it, but it was about, hey, what do you guys think about the phrase, I'm just curious? So like, some people are like, oh, I can't stand when people say I'm just curious. But when I say I'm just curious, I'm genuinely curious so I can help you. So I think before anything is, if you're actually genuine with your outreach, if you're genuine in wanting to help, if you genuinely care about people, people can tell right away, versus let's build a relationship and let's get on a meeting right now. It's like, I'm not interested. Like, you can just smell it.
I think my issue with like relationships is I have a hard time getting past like that surface level communication. I'm good at like, hey, we got a thing to do, right? We're working on a deal. These are the 3 things we need to do. I struggle with like trying to connect with somebody on like a more personal level and like have like genuine interest in those details, because I feel like it's just a distraction or a delay for the actual deals or the things that we're actually working on. So I have a hard time connecting on that level, and it's something that I need to personally work on, because I know like it's good for just a human being, like human being level. And then on top of that, it's like will actually benefit on a business level. Like you never know what kind of influence people have down the line, even if it's just like you just help them, like you just help in an area that you feel like you can help with no expectation, no deals, and it's just like, oh hey, here's this thing, or helped in this manner, and then who knows later kind of what kind of comes back from that, just what connection they have, what introductions they make, that type of thing. So
Hey everyone, thanks a lot for joining us on this clip of the We Blowing Up podcast, as me and my family are on the pursuit of blowing up our small family business and taking you along for the ride. Now, if you want to see the full episode, check that out right up here. Otherwise, check out another clip of here, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on future episodes and clips.